Welcome to Wesley Impact, and we also want to especially welcome all mothers on this Mother's Day special. It's great to have you join us. In my thought for the day, I'll be sharing about the important role of mothers. We also take a look at our mentoring programme, Aunties and Uncles, as we celebrate the first birthday of this organisation joining and coming under the umbrella of Wesley Mission. And we meet a young mother of two who's written a book about her own journey of faith. At 28, Nicole Waston was faced with a choice: to terminate or to give birth to a child with half a heart. What followed must have been a roller coaster in anybody's books, a roller coaster of emotions, of family relocation to specialist hospitals, and seeing God's faithfulness amid this toddler's ongoing fight for survival. Nicole, thanks for coming on the show and sharing your journey with us.
Thank you for having me, Keith.
Look, back in 2008, the joy and anticipation of a mother that any mother would understand today was shattered by another reality. Can you share what happened at the time?
Yeah, sure. We went for our routine 20-week scan, only to discover that our son had something wrong with his heart. We were referred from one specialist to another, all wanting confirmation on what they saw. And basically, at the end of that 2 weeks of uncertainty, we found out that our little boy would be born with hypoplastic left heart syndrome. Which means essentially he would be born with half a heart.
And tell us how did you feel when you were told that news?
We were absolutely devastated when we found out. We weren't quite sure where to turn. We were given 3 options for his care. The first was to terminate his life. When we said no to that, we were offered the other options, one of which was palliative care, to make Sam comfortable and he would die a week after birth from lack of oxygen in his blood. Or we had a third option, which was to have surgery for Sam. And the only place that we could do that at the time was in Melbourne. So we relocated for the 5 months to have Sam. After making that decision, we drove home quite heartbroken. And wondering, where was God in all of this? But in that time, he never let us go. It was amazing.
Tell us, when he's born, you and your husband came to name your son Sam. Is there a story behind that?
There is a story. On the way home in the car, when we were both, quite down about what had happened, God spoke to me and said, "Call your son Sam." And I said, "Do you mean Samuel, Lord? Do you mean Samuel?" And he said, "No, just Sam." And he said Sam after Samuel because he will always be his, and Sam after Samson because he'll have the strength and determination that comes from me. So we had to be obedient. And
it's a bit of a combination of the two then, wasn't it?
It was, definitely.
Look, his first open heart surgery came less than 72 hours after his birth. What was it like when you saw him for the first time?
It was both horrendous and amazing all at the same time. When we first saw Sam after that surgery, he came out with a big plastic adhesive over his chest, with his chest still open. So we could actually see his heartbeat within his chest. So to see your child surrounded by all of those wires and tubes was devastating. That isn't what you want to see for your newborn child. But God really spoke to us about how he sustains life. To watch your son's heartbeat with your naked eye is not something that many people get to see. And he just really spoke to us about how he sustains life. Even though, the doctors and nurses did an amazing job looking after Sam, he had that life-giving spark.
And he's your boy, isn't he? Even
is.
in that context.
Oh, it was just, that's it. And we loved him regardless, we didn't leave him. So.
And that became a journey of faith for you, didn't it, this whole story?
Yeah, definitely. It had to be faith because when you look at what you see before your eyes, it's anything but beautiful, in the world's eyes. But we had to keep looking up at God. We had to keep looking to him and believing that he was faithful to carry us through it.
And you've learnt things on that journey you couldn't have learnt any other way.
No, we thank God for it now. I would never have said that at the time. We were... There were many emotions, as you've already mentioned. I was angry at times, very defeated, but we never gave up hope in God. He was our anchor, as it speaks about in Hebrews, about Jesus being our anchor, And so it was really important at that time that we just keep focusing back on him, despite how we were feeling.
And that's a nice place to just hold the tape a moment, because the anchor is steadfast and sure in Hebrews, clearly. And we're back with Nicole and her story a little later in the show. But now I'd like to introduce today's performer. Singer-songwriter Heidi Pop has joined us once again from Brisbane in Queensland. Today she shares with us that no matter what we're facing, God is our anchor, refuge and strength. Here's Heidi with Everything I Need.
Oh this sunless land. I know I'm not alone, no, I'm not afraid. When the night time's overwhelming, surely goodness follows me. Lay me down beside green pastures with everything I need. When my enemies are near, you prepare a feast. My cup is overflowing and my heart at peace. Then you set me on a pathway where the way is sure, and I will live forever in your house, oh Lord. When the night time's overwhelming, surely goodness follow me. Lay me down beside green pastures with everything I need. I will dwell in your house, oh God, 'cause I know that you are with me. Rod and staff, they comfort me. I will fear no evil. When the night time's overwhelming, surely goodness follows me. Lay me down beside green pastures with everything I need. Overwhelming, surely goodness follows me. Lay me down beside green pastures with everything I need. With everything I need. With everything I need.
Visit wesleymission.org.au/impact for more on today's program. There you'll also find selected video clips to download and forward to a friend, information about past episodes and guests, and you'll also have unlimited access to the articles in Wesley Impact magazine. You can also find out more about Keith Garner and the wider work of Wesley Mission. Visit wesleymission.org.au/impact for more on today's program and for all the content available online.
If you'd like to know more about Heidi Pop's music, please visit our website this week. Now, we're back with my guest, Nicole Waston, and the life-changing story of her son, Sam. Now, in your book, Sam's Heart, there are two aspects to this thought of heart. There is, of course, the actual physical heart, and that's so much central to the story. But there's a wider understanding too, isn't there?
There is, definitely. More of an understanding of purpose, I guess. You know, where is our heart? Where our heart is, you know, our life will be also. And so, you know, for us, we've had a transformation of heart from the beginning of our journey with Sam. I said we've come to the point where we thank God for the hardships that we've been through, because we've been transformed in those times by God through the fire that we've been through. So we are no longer the people that we were before. And so God uses these hardships, you know, to change our hearts, to purify them through refiner's fire, so that all the things that mattered before that didn't need to be there were just burned away. So, yes, I guess you could say it's a parable between the two.
So has there been a lot of response? Often when a person writes a book of this kind, people come up and say, I want to talk about it and tell something of their own story?
Yeah, I've had a lot of people contact me both via email as well as in person, and each of them has their own story to tell. You know, God tells me...
Do you really mean that people are concerned in their own life about how they deal with their situation or yours? Or are they looking at yours and feeling perhaps that says something to them?
It does, yeah. Often they read the book and they tell me that they're challenged in their own life situation. So God will speak to them through what we've been through to challenge them in their own life and to make changes or to comfort them and encourage them in a time that they're going through hardship. Often people pick up the book expecting, like you said, to read a story about a child with a heart condition, but it's actually quite much more than that. It's about the spiritual journey that we were on with God and just how he can change us if we let him.
And when you say you thank God, it's not that you thank God that this happened, but somehow that he allowed you in the midst of what it was that happened to actually get through this and positively in a way that... How has it changed the way you look at life now then?
It's changed the way we look at life in that each day is precious. Each moment that we're given is precious. Before, whereas we may have looked at things a little more haphazardly, you know, each moment now is cherished. We enjoy each day much more than we did. So I guess in that way our life has been changed.
And as the book's lovely picture has on it, he's now a little boy, not a baby anymore.
That's
and,
right.
Full of life. And,
that's right.
But there are many challenges that lie ahead there, aren't there?
There is, yeah. The doctors tell us that Sam will need further surgery between the ages of 3 to 5. So, you know, Sam's 3 now and we're looking at that path at the moment. And that's very hard as a mum. You know, it's very hard as a mum to know that your child may have to go through more pain. So,
what would you say? This is a difficult one. This is one of those curly balls, really, to say. But I think it's an important one for mums on Mother's Day sharing with us. What would you say to someone, to a loved one who hasn't been healed, to as a child? What would you say to them?
It's not always about the destination. It's about the journey. It's about what God does in your heart, you know, and we're each given a purpose and a plan for life here, you know, and if we live that purpose and plan the way that God has given it to us, then we've lived life perfectly. You know, not everyone is healed miraculously in an instant. You know, sometimes it will happen over time. Sometimes it won't happen at all in the way that we see it to be perfect.
And you've always seen, and this comes across in the book, that you've seen the combination of medical care and seeking God's help as hand in hand, haven't you?
Definitely. We've seen both the hand of God and the hand of surgeons the same. You know, they use their hands, their God-given gifts to heal Sam, and God also uses his supernatural hand to do it. So though Sam may have had surgery and the doctors have held his little heart in their hands, we've also seen God touch Sam and heal him from stroke.
Look, and I know a little bit about the future. Tell us a little bit about what lies for you ahead in the future.
Yeah, sure. God's called us, my husband and my two sons, to serve with Mission Aviation Fellowship, which is an aid organisation, a Christian aid organisation that flies into rural and remote areas around the equator. So that's where we are at the moment. We're studying to serve with them and to see where God will call us next.
Well, that sounds very exciting, really, and we'll be thinking of you and we're delighted that you've shared something on this Mother's Day special of the special journey that you've been on. And we shall pray for you, think about you in the future, and especially as your husband's flying those planes and ensuring that the work of God goes on. Thank you for joining us, Nicole. We'll be back in just a moment.
Visit wesleymission.org.au/impact to download the news magazine of Wesley Mission. Impact Magazine has all the latest news and information about our work, articles and featured case studies about our ministry of care, and more information about the services we provide. There's also comprehensive Bible teaching by Keith Garner and loads more information about the Christian faith. Visit wesleymission.org.au/impact.
As we've seen on today's show, Nicole was grief-stricken about the future of her child, Sam. In our Wesley Mission story today, we focus on a mum who also wanted to offer far more for her twin daughters than she was ever able to provide. Aunties and Uncles is just one programme where Wesley Mission is working to help kids shine. Let's take a look together.
Well, before Wesley Mission came along as our fairy godmother, we were in dire straits. Aunties and Uncles would have closed after nearly 40 years, and probably about 5,000 children have gone through the program. So, and it's a great program.